Hello and welcome to the Year 9 Options Assembly. This is an adapted version for parents, so the students will also receive an assembly with the same information, but I've just done this pre-recorded version for the benefit of parents so you can get the same information. This is a really exciting time of the year for me because I get to launch this whole process today, and I hope that it will be an exciting time for the students as well. Some of the students will know me, some of them will know me as a PE teacher, some of them will know me as perhaps an E1M teacher, but not many of them will know that my main job in the academy is as the head of Key Stage 4, which of course is years 10 and 11, those two crucial GCSE years. And the purpose of today's assembly is to launch the Year 9 options process, which is one of those stepping stones into Key Stage 4. It's my privilege to be able to support students and families through this process, along with a very well-equipped team, both from the pastoral side and also from the admin and curriculum teams. So what is the options process is the first thing. So we still pride ourselves very much on having a very broad and balanced curriculum, and we design the curriculum in that way, and we design the timetable in that way. And students are a very important but also very exciting junction in their educational journey, where they're now getting to choose or make some choices about the GCSE courses that they want to do. And of course, that might determine their progress and how they progress on to further education, and also how they progress on to further employment opportunities. So this is the first start of many important phases of their education, where they get to make more choices about what it is that they study. So this is a chance for them to personalise their pathway whilst maintaining a really broad and balanced range of subjects. So in terms of keeping the curriculum broad and balanced, it's essential that there's a core curriculum that is mandatory that every student studies, and that's the case for every student up and down the country. So this would include English language and English literature, which will equate to two GCSEs, so two separate courses there. The GCSE in mathematics, and then they will study as a minimum a combined science course, which incorporates physics, chemistry, and biology, but equates to two GCSEs. But triple science is an option in the option block system, which I'll show you in a second. All students will continue to study a modern foreign language at GCSE, and that will either be French or Spanish, whichever one was chosen in Year 7. And also on their timetables, they will still have 1 hour a week of Everyone Matters. That's our bespoke personal development education, and each student will also have 2 mandatory games lessons on their timetable every week. So that they're the core components of the curriculum, and that they will all be on everyone's timetable. And then there's the element of choice. So here are the option blocks where we can give students more choice about what it is they want to study. Each student will need to pick one option from each of these blocks. So in block 1, we have the humanities option. They can choose between history and geography. In block 2, there's a long list of subjects, as there is in block 3. So again, students will need to pick one option from each of these blocks. And it's worth noting that the asterisk next to the art and design courses indicates that students may only pick one art and design course. So it's worth looking through the options booklet and having students speak to teachers about the difference between the fine art course, the graphics course, and the textiles course. Some subjects will feature in block 2 and block 3, which gives more flexibility around students being able to choose those options, and some may only appear in one option block, and therefore it might become quite strategic as to how students pick which ones they want to do and which block. When it comes to filling in the options form, which won't be made available until everyone's had enough time to read all the information and digest it, and then have the opportunity to speak to us and also ask specific questions, maybe to subject staff, before making a choice. But when the options form comes out, we will this year be asking students to give a first and a second preference from each block. So what would be your number one choice from block two, and what would be your number two choice from block two if we were unable to give you option number one. We strive to give everybody their first options. So this is an important piece of advice that I will give to the students, and it's important that they do make their choices based on what they think are their needs. So here are some top tips. Firstly, they choose subjects that they think they're going to enjoy. 2 years of studying a subject that they aren't enjoying or don't enjoy would be a bit of a chore. Choose subjects that they're good at. That's another thing. So it might be that they think, well, I don't really enjoy any of those subjects, or I don't yet know that I'm going to enjoy those subjects. However, I do know that I've got some good skills and some good knowledge that would mean that I'm probably going to be quite good at certain subjects from the option blocks. And it might be, although it's very, very early days yet, but certainly not too early to start the conversation, but it might be that certain students have an idea of the kinds of things they'd like to do when they left school. And it doesn't have to be specific jobs that they want to go into, because they won't necessarily know that yet, but they might understand the areas, the industries that they're very interested in, and therefore some of the option choices might really support those career plans too. The last bit of advice in terms of top tips is choose a combination of subjects to give a broad experience. So not trying to choose subjects that are very, very similar. Although we've also done some work on that, so the option blocks will reflect our wish for students to maintain a broad and balanced curriculum. So again, just choosing something where it's not going to be too much of the same thing. And the last 2 points here, just remember, and I'll say this very clearly to students as well, do not choose subjects because you want to be with your friends. And the simple answer to that is, we don't know yet which classes they'll be in. We don't know which friends they'll be in the same classes with, and so on. So it makes no sense to choose based on what they think their friends will choose, or what their friends are telling them they're choosing, because that still won't guarantee that they'll be in the same classes. And the same goes for choosing subjects just because they're fond of the teacher that currently teaches that subject. Because again, whilst most of the teachers who are teaching in Key Stage 3 will also teach on the GCSE courses, there's no guarantee that that will be your child's teacher when they move into Key Stage 4. So really go for subjects that they enjoy, subjects that they're good at, and subjects that we think may support any possible career paths. Okay, so in terms of the actual process itself, this week we'll make available a digital version of the options booklet for parents that will contain links to our subject promotional videos. Students will also get a hard copy of the options booklet, a paper version, that won't have those links, those electronic links in, but the electronic one will. So read the options booklet, read it with your children, talk to them about what their thoughts are around the different subjects, encourage them to talk to their teachers when they come back into school, come back to school, talk to the staff who teach them those subjects, find out some more information about it if they're interested. Second thing is discuss it at home over a long period of time. So once you've had an opportunity to have a discussion with subject teachers, have some good conversations at home about it, so that you can kind of check that the thought process behind it is in line with the top tips. Number 3 on the plan is just watch the subject information videos to learn about what the courses are all about in Year 10, the ones that start in Year 10. And then if you've got any questions that you would like to ask, there are contact email addresses in the options booklet that will give you a contact address for each of our subject leaders, and they will be able to answer any unanswered questions about anything subject specific. So the next phase will be to make your choices. So to begin, start filling in the options form. And we would encourage students to make sure that they're doing that with a parent at home. And it will be an electronic form that will be sent out via an email with a link in it. And that will be made available on Monday, the 6th of March. And the purpose of delaying it slightly is to make sure that those conversations are happening first, and that there is opportunity for students and parents to be able to ask subject-specific questions to those subject leaders. And then the final point of the process is that the options form is completed and submitted by the 15th of March. Now, there are some key dates here which will kind of map out the process that I've just described. But if I just go through them, so the students will receive their options assembly this week. And they'll also get their options book, and parents will also have the digital version of that. Information videos are available from the moment that the options booklet comes out, and you'll be able to watch that and find the information about each of the courses. On Monday, the 6th of March, we'll be able to make the options form available to you so that you can start to look through the options forms. And if you're in a position to complete it, then you can complete that. On the 1st of March, we are putting on an additional drop-in session for parents and students to come in and discuss any questions that you may have about any of the options process. And you can do that face-to-face with a member of the senior leadership team. We'll be available between 5:30 and 7 p.m. It won't involve a formal presentation. It's simply going to be a drop-in session for any parents or students who would like to ask a question about the options process face-to-face rather than by sending an email. So that will be on Wednesday, the 1st of March. Anytime you can drop in between 5:30 and 7 p.m. And then Wednesday, the 15th of March is that hand-in date for the options form to be completed. And then I've made a note down there that at some point in May, that's our ambition, is by May, we will be able to write and confirm the actual subjects that students have been allocated for Year 10. The last thing that I ask students to do in the assembly is just pause for a moment of reflection, and I will pose 2 questions to them. So I'm just going to get them to think about what questions they might have about certain subjects. So get them to think ahead about what don't they already know about certain subjects that they might want to ask, and then also get them to think about which people they can go to ask about specific questions that they may have. So that might also be a good start point for your discussions at home about, what don't you know about certain subjects and who can you go to find out that information. Okay, so that brings us to the end of that assembly. Like I say, students will have that this week, as well as the options booklet. But please do get in touch with info@cowsec.org if you have any issues around the options process. And also don't forget that on the 1st of March, we do have a drop-in between 5:30 and 7 p.m. No appointments are necessary. It's just a case of turn up and you'll be able to speak to a member of staff face-to-face. Okay, thanks very much. Bye-bye.